was just a flat tire, but once we got a little closer, they were definitely having some mechanical issues. The Geyser was really neat. The atmosphere was sort of changing. The storm was rolling in. There was definitely some black clouds rolling in, very menacing. There's even some rainbows, desert rainbows. You get that classic sulfur smell, tons of steam pouring out of these neat little holes, some great little bubbling pools of mud. That was really neat.
That with altitude sickness kind of kicking in was almost where I was done. And you walk through it and it hit you with so much force, and also the sulfur was in it and it would burn your eyes and come in your lungs.
I was surprised at how hot the vents are. I cruised my hand in front of one and got a little scald. They're legitimately quite hot. Dense, moist kind of fog would roll out of these holes in the ground and just sort of drift along the valley. Heavy moisture content. It was like rained on, but with sulfur.
Every one of your senses is kind of going off, which is what really makes it. Your ears hearing the steam just bellow and belt like that's amazing. Even feeling the pressure of that steam coming at you and the vibrations it's making. You can even taste it. You can taste the sulfur. Everything is just absolutely an overload.
Once we were back on the road, put a couple more hours in it, we got to this crazy hostel slash village slash markets.
Just rooms in them and cement beds.
Just a bunch of adobe stone huts. People have excavated holes in the ground, pulled out what stone they can, made a bunch of mud cakes, and built this like large complex. It was significant. It was spectacular actually. It was right out of a movie. It was a bizarre post-apocalyptic kind of survival scene. Craig wasn't surviving so well at that point. The altitude had definitely given him some trouble. He'd taken a hit there. He was not feeling so hot.
We're up above 4,000 meters right now for the last 6-7 hours. Altitude sickness has kicked in pretty good. My head's pounding. It feels like my brain doesn't fit in my skull right now. I can't walk straight.
So Craig was pretty sick at this point, and we were trying to find him some oxygen or some pills to help him deal with the altitude. Couldn't find anything, and then our guide Shawn told us that coca leaves were actually really good for altitude sickness. You just chew on them and it kind of takes the edge off. So we wandered around trying to find some coca leaves, and it was an interesting scene. There's tons of little shops spread out all over the place.
All closed apparently, besides one or two that were almost sold out of everything.
No.
We weren't having any luck. We visited at least 3 or 4.
Oh shoot, this is ours.
And when you're getting sicker and sicker, it was like a quest you did not want to be on.
And eventually gave up on that.
Finally, we bumped into this Irish girl who actually had a bag of them.
Enjoy. It's like don't taste good. True?
It helped. It wasn't a cure, but it helped me get to my next stage.
Now just keep it in the side, and then the juices will...
This is terrible, but thank you so much.
Once Craig had got some solid coca magic into him, we piled back in the truck and headed out to the Lagoon Roja. Which was definitely the most dramatic of the lagoons.
Could have skipped every other lagoon, show me the red lagoon, and I would have been happy.
There was really neat salt caps out in the middle of the lake with kind of salt islands, very white, quite high off the water. And the wind was whipping down the valley at this point. There was a solid storm brewing.
And the salt was getting blown up by the wind that was coming up. And then they had these massive dark clouds behind it.
The flamingos surprised me. I didn't know there was flamingos at like 4,000 meters in the Atacama, so that was pretty cool. Red water and pink flamingos and white salt and purple velvety clouds. It was gnarly. If I could have rolled all the lagoons into one, it definitely would have been Lagoon Roja. That one was beautiful. The rest I could take or leave, but the desert definitely has its gems.
I wish I had more people there to share it with. It was that amazing.